So, lads, today we're going to be talking about the NCAA final. Obviously, look, this video is going up, and within like 20 minutes, I'm going to be live. I'm going to be live streaming the NCAA final game. And I genuinely do think that this is going to be a serious game of basketball. Going to be a serious game, and I think it's going to be real interesting because it is genuinely it's a battle of a team that like is gonna not a bad defensive team, but a team that really likes to focus on ball movement, getting good shots, and offense versus the best of the drag you down defensive teams. And that's one of the big things is that like South Carolina, like we can say what we want about South Carolina. They make you play if South Carolina can make you play their game, they're the best at it. Like, they are the best at that. And they are doing something that no other team can really do, which is, like, the way they can play defense is just crazy. Like, if you look at how they play, obviously, look, 71, 67, 63, 54, 53, or 64, 53 against Indiana. And the Indiana game was close. This is a team that outside of the first round is Tennessee Tech, which doesn't count because half the teams were winning by UConn by 70 in the first round. Like, the 16v1s were ridiculous this year. But Texas here in a game, this was the best they've looked in the tournament. They finally look good. And by the way, it was literally just a big second half because Texas were in that game in the first half. But if you look even at the regular season, like, they barely beat Michigan. They comfortably beat NC State, and they were way up early in that game. They beat Iowa State by 40, but it's their defense when they're winning games. Like, UConn scored 87 points against them. 87 points is what UConn scored. And it is one of those things where I just don't know how. UConn are favorite to win by 5. And I still don't think that, is that minus 7.5? Sorry. The spread is minus 7.5. So they're expected to win by 7.5 points. And I don't see how South Carolina score more than 70 points. Like, I genuinely mean that. Like, that's what they basically have to do. They have to score more than 70 points to have any chance because I don't know how they can hold UConn to less than 70. Just with how good this UConn team have been. Like, if you look at what UConn are putting up, UConn put up 85 points. They put up 78 points against an elite defensive team in USC. Even without Juju, it's an elite defensive team. They put up 82 against Oklahoma. And by the way, they scored 32 points in the first half. They put up 50 in the second half against a good defensive Oklahoma team. You don't count any of those other games. But if you're just looking at how this team's scoring, this USC game, by the way, is the closest game they have had since they lost to Tennessee on the 6th of February. 37-point win, 38-point win, 30-point win versus the team they're playing today. Like 42-point win, 39-point win, 19-point win, 35-point win, 31-point win, 28-point win, 20-point win. The closest game they have had in 2 months was a 14-point win. A 14-point win is the closest game they've had in the last 2 months. Like, I don't see how anyone can take this team down. I will stand by this. If anyone is going to beat this team, it's going to be South Carolina. Because South Carolina, in fairness, they do have future number 1 overall pick and the greatest player in the history of basketball, according to their fans in Raven Johnson. But no, if I'm gonna be honest, like the funniest thing was Taurasi being like, "Oh, she's gonna be a WNBA player," and that's the thing. Is like people don't realize the end of the bench players are there to do one thing. Like, she would be a great 10th, 11th, 12th player. Like, I wouldn't even be that opposed to like an Indiana taking her and just saying, you know what, her job is to just be a lockdown. Her job is to just be absolute lockdown, and that's her one role. Like, she is a player. All you have to do is at the pro level. If you do one thing at an elite pro level, you're gonna be in that league. If you just do one thing at the level, and in fairness, she does that. I think the only chance they have is if Full Wiley has a masterclass. Like, I didn't think Full Wiley was bad against Texas, especially in the first half. I thought she had a good game. She was non-existent against Duke. She was the only reason to beat Maryland. Like, they're gonna need Full Wiley because as much as I like Joyce Edwards, I like Sanaya Fagan as players. I think Dawn Staley is preps a lot of players. She builds role players in the WNBA. I think Tahina Pau as well is just a good role player. But I'm sorry, like, UConn have. This is. I mean, a lot of people are like, oh, this isn't one of the best UConn teams in a long time. And I'm like, because, oh, they don't. How many WNBA players does this UConn team have? A lot more than you'd think. A lot more than you think with UConn. But AZ Fudd potentially would have gone top 5 in this year's draft. Paige is going number 1. And Sarah Strong is the best of all these players. Like, I've always made this argument where I'm like, everyone's talking about Juju, Hidalgo, and all these players when I don't think it's crazy to predict Sarah Strong being better than all of them. She is like female Jokic who can play the 1 through 5 at times on offense, who can be a point center, who can guards bigger than she is. Like, Sarah Strong is, in my, like, I've always made the argument that there is a 1A, 1B on UConn, and that's not a knock on Paige. It is not a knock on Paige at all. Just, it's how good Sarah Strong is. Like, I don't think there has been, in the post-Stewie era, outside of maybe Katie Lou and Nafisa Collier, there has not been a better 1-2. There's not been a better 1A, 1B, or, yeah, there were probably 1A, 1B at UConn than Paige and Sarah Strong. And then, look, when AZ Fudd's playing well, she's elite. Like, El Alfie. And look, I don't think El Alfie's been particularly good this year, but, like, El Alfie was seen as a freaking prodigy growing up. I rate Ashton Shade as a player. And yeah, this UConn team I just think is going to have too much for South Carolina. So anyway, yeah, that is my preview of the game. Obviously, I will be live in a little bit talking about this game. I will be live in a while, but I also will be going and recording some videos through that, and be recording videos till quite late today talking about these games. So yeah, that is pretty much it, lads. I do appreciate all of you guys have been around. I do want to apologize for the last couple of days. Obviously, look, I wasn't around, and a bit of a rough night last night, and trying to travel halfway across the country, getting a bus while in no state to have been getting a bus at 5 o'clock in the morning, getting home was not, probably in hindsight, was one of my smarter decisions, but maybe it shouldn't have been. But anyway, yeah, that's the video. Thank you guys for watching. Please like, comment, and subscribe.